Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I am coming to you from Diagala National Park here in South East Queensland. I'm going to apologise in advance if the exposure goes up and down a bit and if I seem a bit distracted while I'm walking, and that would be because I am. So it's, as you've probably seen already, it's quite dense bushland and rainforest through here, which is nice. But as it's basically summer here in Queensland now, just have to be cautious. So there are basically two things I'm really keeping an eye out for as I hike today. One is danger noodles, aka nope ropes, aka snakes. While snakes don't actually hibernate at all in Australia, they are a lot less active in the colder months. We are still in spring, but we don't really get much of an autumn and a spring here in Queensland. We basically get summer, a pretend winter, and back to summer. So it's warm, it's not absurdly warm. The weather report was saying 28 degrees Celsius in this location. I think it feels more like probably 25, 26. And the humidity is not too bad, but it's a little bit muggy. But with these warmer temps means the snakes can be a bit more active. So the snakes that I'll probably, if I see any, I haven't yet actually, but if I do see any, there's probably 4 that I'm likely to see up here. One is the common carpet python, large but largely harmless to humans. They'll bite if you stand on them, but they're not venomous. Also see the eastern brown, which is a very venomous snake, tiger snake, which are very venomous, and maybe even some red-bellied black snakes, which are venomous but not deadly. So I'm just going to keep walking. I won't tell you where I'm heading just yet, although you may have picked it up some of the B-roll on the way in, but it's not a very long hike. It should be roughly 4 k's each way, so about 8 k's or so round trip. I got a bit distracted talking about snakes. So the other thing I'm keeping an eye out for as I walk is panorama compositions. So I only brought, as I've been doing lately, the G617 with me. I've got 3 rolls of film with me, basically with the intent of only shooting 1, maybe 2 rolls. I brought a roll of, I think I brought Fuji Acros 100, Kodak Ektar 100, and I did bring a roll of Provia 100 as well. But we'll just see how we go. I haven't seen, along the track, I haven't seen any compositions that might be conducive to the panorama camera. I was wondering if maybe when I got to that logging winch, which was that old machine on the side of the track we saw just before, if there'd be enough room for a composition, but I don't think there is. It's very tight near the track there. So I'll just keep an eye out as I walk and see how I go. So I'm making the descent down to where we're heading to maybe find a photo. It's very steep. Steep, a bit overgrown and a bit rocky. I just got to pay a little bit of attention to what I'm doing on the way down here. I'll show you how steep it is again. I don't really think this perspective shows how steep it is, but it's definitely steeper than 45 degrees. So I might just stop talking for a minute and just concentrate on getting down there without falling. friends, is a highly venomous tiger snake. So this is the final destination. This is what we were hiking into, and I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. It's the wreck of a Piper Comanche light plane that crashed in March of 1977. So while it's been 55 years and obviously quite a lot of it breaking down and getting claimed by the forest and apparently claimed by bushwalkers, the pictures I'd seen on the internet had suggested that there was quite a bit more plane left than this. But we're here, we'll see if we can make a composition. And that is a scrub turkey. Okay, so I've had a bite to eat. I brought an avocado sandwich with me, and I've got the camera set up, I've metered, and I'm fairly well ready to go. So I'm shooting with Fuji Acros 100, the original Acros 100. So they're fantastic black and white film that they no longer produce. So it's expired by about 5 years, and it's my final roll given to me by a good friend of the channel, Andy. So I'm going to use that and see how I go. I've got a yellow filter on the lens. So I've metered, and I'm going to shoot at f32, and my exposure time is 30 seconds. So to take into account both the yellow filter, which is only going to be about half a stop, and a little bit for perhaps reciprocity and expired film, I'm going to do a 1 minute exposure. Just want to make sure I've got focus set. So it should focus between about 2.5 meters and 9 meters, and the plane is roughly 2.5 meters from me, and maybe 3 to 3.5 for the back end. So I should have focus, should be pretty right. Okay, so that shutter is now open. Despite seeing that tiger snake close by before, it's really quite peaceful here in the forest, apart from these mosquitoes. Okay, I'm at 45 seconds. There we go, first exposure done. So I've got another composition here, and it's going to be vertical, which is the first time I've ever done a vertical composition with this camera, from the tail of the plane looking along the body. So hopefully this is okay. It's something a bit different. I've metered, I'm shooting at f45 because I'm even closer to the tail, and I'm going to do 90 seconds. Shutter is open. There's a minute, almost there. There's a little bit of a spot of bright light on the plane and the tree. Hopefully it looks nice. Hopefully it doesn't blow out too much. It does have good highlight control, this film, so hopefully it looks good. 5 seconds, here we go. And that is my second composition done. Okay, so I'm all packed up, pack on, ready to go, heading back towards the car. So I didn't end up stopping and taking that photo where I thought there might have been a composition that I mentioned earlier. I stopped and I had a look, but there was just not enough light around. I have stopped a couple of other times to consider compositions, but I haven't actually found anything I like enough to take a photo. And I'm making pretty good time despite that, and I also got a little bit lost, where I lost the track, but I'm heading back towards the car, and then we'll see what happens from there. Well, I've made it back to the car. I made really good time as well. Despite getting lost and stopping 3 or 4 times to consider compositions, I made it back from the plane wreck in 1 hour and 5 minutes. So I think I might make a stop off on the way home, a little lookout that I've been to before, and just see if there's a shot there. Well, I'm at home now. I didn't end up taking the last photograph on that roll of film. I stopped off at a couple of lookouts, I took a few detours, pulled over a few times, just keeping an eye out for anything, but I didn't find anything I really liked. So I figured, why waste it, I'll grab another shot some other time. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It had been a while since I've done a hiking video. If you do like it, please give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to see you again soon.